Countless times I've heard women say things like, I need to focus on my health, or my health just hasn't been a priority for a long time. And while these are ultimately very compassionate things to say, I've said these things to myself before many times, I want to share a perspective shift here. Your health isn't something that you separate from the rest of your life to work on. It's not a category of our life or in its own separate file folder. Health is the quality of how our life is being lived, and it's something that is being shaped every moment of every day, whether we realize it or not. Our health is shaped in each moment by how we live, think, feel, work, eat, move, respond to stress, rest, connect, and love. To put this more plainly, you might not have a quote-unquote health problem. Your body is responding intelligently to the life it's living. Your body is not the root problem. Your body is the messenger. Whatever your unique health challenges might be, things like digestive problems, hormonal imbalances, stubborn weight, infertility, fatigue, anxiety, mood challenges, sleep challenges, the list goes on. These are not just things that were randomly assigned to your body to be challenging or create suffering. These are things that your body is trying to use as messages to communicate with you and to let you know that something within your life is off and needs attention and care. So when women say things like, I need to focus on my health, or I want to prioritize my health, what I really want them to understand or remember is that health is not separate from the rest of our life. It is built through the quality of our life. I'm Jacqueline Miller. I'm a women's functional health practitioner and the founder of Rad Wellbeing, which is a women's functional wellness and holistic health practice. Rad Wellbeing was created, simply put, to help women live radically well. And my aim with these videos is to provide women with fresh perspective, practical education, and a deeper sense of agency around their health and their lives. In practice, I work with women in their mid-20s up to mid-70s to help them gain clarity and empowerment around what their unique bodies need to thrive. So if you're craving fresh perspective, clarity, and empowerment around your health and your life, keep listening. So to use a metaphor here, health isn't a room in the house that you visit sometimes by working out or cooking a healthy meal every once in a while. Health is the foundation in which the entire house is built on. Cracks show up in the foundation when pressure is applied, not because the house is failing or falling apart, but because it's responding. And our bodies are the same. Our physical health is inseparable from our foundation, or what I call the ecosystem that we're living in. You can think of this ecosystem as the collective of our entire life. Our personal ecosystem includes our physical home, our relational environment with significant others, friends, family, community, our work environment, emotional environment and care. So can we even recognize our emotions and attune to them appropriately? This ecosystem includes our mental environment, so the voice in our head that we all have and the way that that voice speaks and creates our perception of the world. It includes our creative and pleasure pursuits, our connection to the earth and the sun. And then, of course, there are ecosystem inputs that are more physical health focused. So food, breath, hydration, sleep, movement, nervous system attunement, and much more. The beautiful part of this ecosystem understanding is that instead of thinking about health practices like exercise or nutrition as things that we do in a box to build health, we can shift into a much more expansive view. We begin to understand that our health is being created in a fluid, dynamic way through the decisions that we make each moment and each day. And suddenly, the ways that we can support our health feel far more expansive, almost limitless. Every facet of our life ecosystem is constantly sending signals to the body, either contributing to health or slowly depleting it. What I've found often is that we can create monofocuses with our health and only focus on one or a few of those things and completely forget or ignore the rest. And sometimes we end up missing the forest for the trees. Some examples here are women who might focus exclusively on their workouts, training, and nutrition, which of course are all extremely valuable and important, but have never put an intentional focus on learning what deep rest is, or supporting their nervous system, or connecting to their inner world. And so their bodies lack a foundational sense of safety, yet they can't quite figure out why they're exhausted and depleted. I've also seen the converse of that. So women who might be highly dedicated to meditation or spiritual practices or energy work, which again are extremely valuable and supportive, but they may be leaving nutrition and movement practices off the table and then may still be insulin resistant or nutrient deficient or inflamed as a result. So you can start to see that sometimes we innocently isolate our health or isolate parts of our life, and we hyper-focus on just one area while leaving others unaddressed. And then we feel confused when our bodies continue to communicate through symptoms or feelings of exhaustion or imbalance because something is still missing from that whole. Something really important I want to say is that there are times where it is most helpful to only focus on one or very few things at a time. We can't expect to undergo a life overhaul of every input or habit, and we also cannot control everything in our environment, and trying to do so typically ends up being far more deleterious than helpful. And sometimes the best input that we can create for our health is choosing to lovingly surrender to something that is out of our control in our environment, whether that be something at your job that you can't change, a child going through sleeping challenges that ends up impacting your sleep, an aging parent that needs care. There's a very long potential list here. Where I always focus with women when it comes to the ecosystem of their life is what we can control and where we have agency to take the reins and make choices in our life that build our health. There are naturally going to be seasons of life where we have a greater or lesser ability to do so, and that's completely okay. But even in the busiest and most challenging seasons of life, there still are choices that we can own to nourish and support ourselves as best as we can. So what we're really exploring here is the crux of holistic health, and I want you to have a clear understanding of what holistic really means. I've been in this space for 11 years, and I've seen many words like holistic become trendy and buzzwordy, and when that happens, they often lose their depth and their real meaning. I always make the joke that when you start to see the word holistic on a juice bar or med spa, we've lost our connection to the real meaning of the word. So holistic health is the simple yet profound understanding that the body does not operate as a collection of isolate parts, and it does not operate as separate from the rest of our environment. In the context of women's health, a holistic approach looks at the whole woman, not just her symptoms or her health challenges or previous diagnoses, because we know that symptoms don't happen in a vacuum. Again, nothing in the body works in isolation. I tell nearly every woman working on her hormones or fertility support that her ovaries don't live on an island. They receive signals from the rest of the body, or the same thing for a woman working on her digestion. Your gut microbiome doesn't operate in a vacuum. It's communicating with your entire system. So nothing in the body operates alone, and we are a whole system of interconnectivity. This can be challenging at first to fully grasp and comprehend because most of us have spent a long time existing in the conventional Western medical system, which is a system that hammers this isolate part mentality. So if you have GI issues, go to the gastroenterologist. If you have mental health issues, go to the psychiatrist. If you have hormone issues, go to the endocrinologist. If you aren't conceiving after trying for a few months, IVF is your only option. And while there is absolutely a time and a place for this system and for specialist type care, the lens of understanding is very narrow, and there's a lack of honoring that vast and brilliant interconnectivity of the body. So we have to deeply understand and live from the knowing that everything in the body is connected and communicates together. Every cell is connected to every tissue, is connected to every organ, is connected to every system. Our body really is a symphony where everything plays a part and works together for our function and well-being. So when a part of our body breaks down or starts to dysfunction, it's not about that isolated part. It's about understanding where the breakdown is upstream or in the whole. So at its core, this is really what holistic health and even functional wellness really is. Its aim is to restore function within the body by working through a whole body and whole system lens. A phrase I've often seen connected to the word holistic is body, mind, spirit. And while this similarly has become pretty cliche and somewhat surface level at this point, it does honor the fact that these things are all connected. We have a physical body, we have a mind that communicates with the body, and the body communicates back to the mind, and we have a soul. Whether you want to use the word soul, spirit, heart, divine seed, whatever works for you, that's personal semantics. But I think most women agree that we do all have this seed that is completely unique to each of us, that serves as a guide for what we most desire, what we really want to bring into this world, and the love that we want to give and receive. And it's only by honoring these things and their interconnectivity that we do get a holistic or whole understanding of ourselves. It's not just the body. It's the body working with and holding hands with our mind and soul. And when any one of these things isn't acknowledged or honored, it's not a surprise that we start to see dysfunction arise in the body, and it starts to communicate with us through symptom messengers. So, the radically important reminders here are that, number one, your health is not separate from the rest of your life. It is your life expressed through your body. And number two, your body is not the problem. Your body is the messenger. It's letting you know that something in your life ecosystem is asking for attention, care, or recalibration. And this is where so much empowerment lives, because if our health is being shaped by how we live, then healing doesn't come from fixing a broken body or needing another medication. It comes from learning how to listen, respond, and create a life that actually supports and heals us. One of my most beloved mentors, Dr. Tiaroni Lodog, sums this up simply by her quote, which it's actually a book title, that says, "Life is your best medicine." And in this next video, we'll explore what that really means, what the true medicines of life are, often referred to as lifestyle medicine, and the specific areas of your life where you have complete agency to support healing and vitality and resilience. If you found this video supportive or empowering, be sure to like, subscribe, and feel free to share it with anyone that you love. You can also learn more about Rad Wellbeing by visiting my website in the video description. Thanks so much for being here.